Okay, welcome back to another video. In this one, I have already said in last week's video what it's going to be, but basically this is going to be me trying to learn how to speed bridge within Minecraft, as I want to learn how to speedrun Minecraft. So, if you don't know what a speed bridge is, or anything like that, basically, it's where if I just build up here, let's say, and then go across to here, and then just get rid of everything in between, right? We'll make it a straight line, just so it's easier. Like that. Basically, it's going from here to there in as quick of a way as possible. So, like, you know, most people might just go to the edge of the block and, well, do this. Which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that, I think, in most contexts of Minecraft. But obviously, when you're speedrunning, you want to go as quickly as possible. And so, you want to learn how to speed bridge. Now, I've never done it before because, well, I've never had the need to. I mean, I do play some PvP games where it could be ideal to learn how to, but I've never tried to. So, let's try it, I guess, and see how I do. So, I've got a few different techniques because I know there's different people who do different things. So, the first one I know of is basically the same as, like, any normal bridge, right? So, you want to, like, line up with a block. I mean, I can't get this perfect, but basically press S and D down, or if you're facing the other way, I guess it would be A and S, and then basically just shift to the edge of the block, place one down, go to the edge, but basically unshift as you go. So like that, but like I'm already like moving a lot. So like, to my knowledge, if I use this incredible F3 menu, and then I believe that you need to try and line up your like where you're facing with, like, I think it's like 35 degrees. No, okay, 45. I don't really know. I to be honest, I don't know. But basically, you don't want to be moving, is my knowledge. So let's just try and see how I do on this. And I made it 2 blocks. So yeah, we're gonna need some work here. So one thing that I should mention as well is that I believe a lot of this is down to how quickly you can click. And I'm not a very quick clicker. I think I can get like maybe 10 clicks per second at absolute best. But yeah, like already I can tell this is going to be not the technique for me because I am not coordinated enough to do this. So, that being said, what is some other techniques? Well, so there is the technique of basically looking behind you and sort of just freely placing down blocks as and when you feel like it. So, that didn't go very well, but you can kind of see what I was trying to do. So I believe that this is like, there is a much better way of doing this, like where you could basically just constantly go back perfectly by walking or like pressing S and then placing like 2 or 3 blocks down or something. I'll admit I don't really know. So yeah, basically, those are the few different ways that I'm going to try and do. I'm now just going to keep on going at this, and basically, if I get any good attempts, I will show you on the video. Okay, I mean, that's kind of far, I guess. It wasn't amazing though. Okay. I mean, that's a staircase of sorts, I guess. Okay, I think that that whole idea of kind of doing a slightly chaotic staircase that I'm doing there might be my best bet for getting somewhere, but that's only really good over like short distances because, you know, you're going to start taking fall damage quite quickly if you do that. Okay, so I think this is probably the best place to practice is on a Hypixel's practice bed walls map. So yeah, we're gonna see how I do. I don't think it'll be very good, but I won't even make it far enough. Okay. So, another technique I have seen, which, I mean, I personally would never do, but in certain contexts where it's possible, you could hypothetically change your right button, you know, your placing blocks button, to being something like tab, and then just basically holding down tab. So if I line up properly here, line up properly, and now just hold down tab, that won't work. Okay, hold on, I might have something else. I do have something else to tab. Right, there we go. Alright, hypothetically, if I now line this up properly, yeah, and then I just start crouching and uncrouching. You can see that that pretty much just does it for me. At a pace of 3.17 seconds, which is fine. But here's the thing. That isn't particularly practical for me, because obviously that would mean that I now have to always place... Unlike, you know, if I wanted to use a bow, for example, I would have to press tab. But it is a thing that people do, is if they feel that, you know, using tab is a genuinely important thing, or, well, basically bridging is an important thing, not using tab, then basically binding their keybinds to be, like, well, onto something that is on their keyboard, in theory, it means that the actual speed of their clicks no longer really matters, because they don't need to be quick with their clicks, they just need to have good precision, so like be able to do what I did without using F3 and then just bang, 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 bang. Jumps there, but you can kind of see what I mean. So we're back in my original world here, and you will see if I just press down tab, like I could not do that while well, I couldn't do that if I was using my right mouse button. Now, it's not to say it's impossible to learn how to do that, and I mean, maybe this is what I end up doing, right? Maybe this is the way forward. Maybe I end up becoming someone who uses my right mouse, but maybe I'm someone who ends up not using my right mouse button for things like my bow or anything like that, and instead I just start using tab because, my god, can you just start spamming blocks, and that is about the only meaningfully good advantage that I can think of. But if I get like a bow, for example, right? Basically, I have to press down tab to use that. But here's the thing, I feel like I could get used to this. I mean, I miss, but... because my finger placements aren't exactly compromised. And I just think that overall, this is potentially what I end up doing. So yeah, I'll try this for the next week. We'll see how it goes. I'm sorry about a short video and probably quite a low quality one. Like I say, we have got the bigger video in the works. And as well, like I say, I do want to try out a super flat survival. So maybe look out for that. Anyway, bye.